Good afternoon, people. Let's start. And we are not late because of me. Let me clarify. Huh. Impact on migrants. See, when we were discussing impact on source and destination area, we discussed socio-cultural, political, demographic, economic. Okay. You might have noticed we have not discussed positive and negative, because it might be positive in some source area, it might be negative in some areas. But usually when the question is asked impact on a section of the society, women, or let us say with respect to caste, race, ethnicity, if the section is asked, we can write positive and negative. So impact on migrants will be discussed as positive impact and negative impact. So the positive impact and the negative impact. Positive impact is it creates opportunities for upward social mobility. So all you need to remember is the keyword social mobility, social capital, social tolerance, innovation. So just remember the keywords और फिर उसमें आगे पीछे आप sentences या words खुद add कर दीजिए. But just remember that there is social mobile, और अगर innovation में कुछ मुश्किल लग रहा है social innovation, तो 4S. So you have social mobility, social capital, social tolerance and social innovation. So basically, migration gives you the opportunity to improve your status in the society. But this opportunity is limited for very few section among the migrants. Let us say one who is educated, who is more skilled, who has that cultural capital to reap the benefits of the opportunities offered by the destination areas. So that is very limited to few section of the migrants. Remaining section of the migrants are subjected to negative consequences. Is that clear? So we'll start with the negative consequence. The first point, devoid of skills, information, bargaining power, etc., migrants are often caught in the exploitative labor arrangement. Migrants are often caught in the exploitative labor arrangement. Now, just wait. Let us assume that we are talking about that section of migrants who do not have skills. Either they are unskilled or let us say semi-skilled, who are not very educated, qualified. They are not aware about their rights and entitlements. They move to the destination area because source area was not providing them the opportunity to sustain themselves. Now, since they don't have bargaining power, the chances to be exploited at the hands of the employer, even the contractors or the middlemen, is very high. So they are often caught in the exploitative labor arrangement. Not only this, their problems further get aggravated because there is non-portability of benefits. तभी हमने one nation, one ration card की बात करी. We came up with this idea because one of the major problems, for example, Ayushman Bharat. So Ayushman Bharat, maybe it is national level pe portability, because one of the thing is already they are deprived and their deprivation is getting compounded because the benefits that they are getting in source region is not portable in the destination areas. So write down non-portability of benefits, non-portability of benefits. Next. Their problems are aggravated. Their problems are aggravated in the absence of proper documentation. Their problems are aggravated in the absence of proper documentation. Documentation नहीं होता है तो further उनकी problems और aggravate हो जाती हैं. Next thing is their hardship magnifies, उनकी problems बहुत बढ़ जाती हैं. Their hardship magnifies once the state boundaries are crossed. Once state boundaries are crossed. क्योंकि अब culture significantly changes. There is a concept known as marginal man. Marginal man, अगर मुझे बहुत simple बोलना हो तो धोबी का कुत्ता ना घर का ना घाट का. So marginal man basically means, this is just to make you understand. So marginal man basically means no longer they are associated with traditional culture and they are finding it extremely difficult to adapt to the culture of the destination area. And this kind of problem magnifies when the state boundaries are crossed, because now there is a distinct or very significant differences in their culture. So bracket mein likho, problem of marginal man. Problem of marginal man. Next. They are easy victim of identity politics. They are easy victim of identity politics. Next. जहां पे जो पॉइंट नहीं समझ आएगा, let me know. I'm assuming we are understanding they are easy victim of identity politics. Next. They often remain out of bounds. They often remain out of bounds of both government and civil society. They often remain out of bounds of both government and civil society due to lack of credible data. Due to lack of credible data. Is this point clear? Next. There exists a problem of intergenerational. There exists a problem of intergenerational transmission of poverty. Intergenerational transmission of poverty. If they are poor, the chances of the next generation to be poor is very high. Next point. Since often they are confined to informal sector, since they are confined to informal sector, there exist following problems. There exist following problems. Pointers में लिखना. Fear of job loss. Fear of job loss. कभी भी displace कर देंगे. You never know. So fear of job loss. Second, lack of social security benefits. Lack of social security benefits. Third, lack of creche facility. Lack of creche facility. Creche, यार वो जहाँ we take care of children. Lack of creche facility. There was one of the report which said that 80% of the children of the migrant workers in the informal sector do not have access to schools in the near vicinity of the workplace. Let us suppose this is the construction site and the buildings are getting made. So people during the lean season or so, they have decided to migrate because here they would be working. So now they are living on the construction site. If you have ever observed, either they live on the construction site or they create a small slum for a time being and then they are working on the site. So उस situation में the children also come along with their parents. But 80% of them in those situations do not have access to schooling in the nearby vicinity. So the child is denied of education, which otherwise at least till the age of 14 is free and compulsory. And second is 40% of those children are subjected to abuse. So the problem further gets compounded. So write down. Lack of creche facility लिखा, उसी में लिखना 80% of children of seasonal migrants do not have access to education, and 40% has experienced abuse. 40% has experienced abuse. अच्छा, इसी से फैक्टर्स आ जाएंगे. इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर में काम कर रहे थे तो फियर था दे विल बी रिप्लेस्ड, सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट्स नहीं है. इसी के साथ क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं प्रॉपर हाउसिंग नहीं है, सैनिटेशन नहीं है, हाइजीन नहीं है, हेल्थ और डिजीज बर्डन इज वेरी हाई. Lack of housing, sanitation, hygiene, leading to poor health. So overall, can I say they are subjected to political exclusion, economic exclusion, and social exclusion? Hence, they are subjected to political, economic, and social exclusion. They are subjected to political, economic, and social exclusion. Did I ever mention a term ghost citizen? Ghost citizen is a term which is coined by UN, that you are the legal citizen of the country, but despite being the legal citizen, you are not able to access socio-economic, political resources and rights. Then you will be referred as ghost citizen. So can we say that migrant population, especially in informal sector, can be referred as a ghost citizen? Mistake. Bracket में लिख लो. United Nations concept of ghost citizen. United Nations concept of ghost citizen. One of the point which Sadia has mentioned, they are ignored by the political leaders because they do not constitute voting or the vote bank. That can be the reason. That is why we have used the term political exclusion. Is it making sense? So आप specific point भी चाहो तो लिख सकते हैं कि low priority has been accorded to them by the government because they have low bargaining power. So that is one of the reason. Is it clear for everyone? Next, we'll write. अच्छा, एक पॉइंट और ऐड कर दो. ओवरऑल जस्ट राइट वन मोर पॉइंट. लैक ऑफ प्रॉपर implementation of interstate migrant workmen act. Interstate Migrant Workmen Act 1979 में ये एक्ट आया था, बेसिकली टू प्रोटेक्ट द राइट्स ऑफ द माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स. तो ऐसा नहीं है हमारे पास एक्ट नहीं है, एक्ट इज देयर बट इट इज नॉट प्रॉपरली implemented. That is also one of the reason why migrants are facing the problems. Hence, what needs to be the way forward? So write down a way forward. Way forward. बेटा हमने एक जगह आइडेंटिटी पॉलिटिक्स लिखा है ना निकिता, तो वही हो जाएगा. जैसे आप कह रहे हो ना, दे आर सीन एज इंट्रूडर्स बाय लोकल्स व्हेन एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी आर ऑलरेडी लेस. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट सन ऑफ सॉइल, राइट? एंड सन ऑफ सॉइल का ही तो मतलब आइडेंटिटी पॉलिटिक्स का वन ऑफ द मैनिफेस्टेशन इज सन ऑफ सॉइल थ्योरी. तो ये उसी में आ जाएगा. ठीक है. वे फॉरवर्ड, आई एम गिविंग यू स्पेसिफिक वे फॉरवर्ड. एक टास्क फोर्स बैठी थी विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू माइग्रेंट्स, स्पेशली एट द टाइम ऑफ कोविड. सो दे हैव गिवन सम स्पेसिफिक वे फॉरवर्ड. वो हम लिख लेते हैं, उसके बाद वॉट एवर यू फील लाइक यू कैन राइट. बट मेरे हिसाब से उतना स्कोप होगा नहीं, बिकॉज 10 मार्कर या मैक्सिमम 15 मार्कर. बट राइट दी स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स. फर्स्ट पॉइंट, mainstream migration in national development plans. Mainstream migration in national development plans. Clear hai? Next point, prioritize implementation of existing laws. जब वो नहीं होता मिनिमम वेज एक्ट, इक्वल रेम्यूनरेशन एक्ट, अब कोड ऑफ सोशल सिक्योरिटी. So that is nothing but whatever are your laws which are existing, just make sure they are properly implemented. For example, Interstate Migrant Workmen Act, at least ensure whatever laws are there, they are properly implemented. Third point, sensitize and train policy makers, sensitize and train policy makers, comma, government officials, comma, employers, comma, financial institutions regarding the obstacles faced by the migrants, Next, revise the design of census, and surveys to incorporate sex disaggregated data, comma, age disaggregated data, sex disaggregated मतलब sex के basis पे divided, sex disaggregated data, comma, age disaggregated data on migration. If we want to understand migration better, at least we should know na which sex is migrating more, at what time it is migrating, which part they are migrating, what is the age structure who are migrating, so that rather than having one size fit all approach, we can have a piecemeal engineering approach. Chances of policy paralysis will be less. Next point. Conduct a detailed countrywide mapping of internal migration. Conduct a detailed countrywide mapping of internal migration. Next. Encourage state-level research institutions to develop migration profiles, comma, nature, timing, duration, and magnitude of migration. Clear hai? Next point. Build the capacity of panchayats, क्योंकि maximum rural to rural migration. So you build the capacity of panchayats. They should know which section is migrating, who is out migrating, who is in migrating. So you build the capacity of panchayat, comma, establish migrant labor cells, and create inter-district and interstate coordination committees. Full stop. Is this clear for everyone? Is it making sense? हाँ, obviously equal development. अब इसके अलावा आपको जो लिखना, develop the source region, attitude needs to undergo a change, do not do politicization of migration, that needs to be checked, son of soil policy, मतलब जो feeling होती है, that needs to decline, better awareness, वो जो लिखना हो लिखो. This is the specific point which needs to be written. Uske alawa, whatever comes to him, and if there is time and space, then you write. This can help you even in the ethics answer. Because whatever points that we have mentioned is actually a course of action which needs to be taken in the near future so that problems associated with migrants can be addressed. Is it making sense for everyone? Is the way forward part clear for everyone? Okay. What is portability of benefits? हाँ 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 exactly. Portability as in that if you belong to a particular region, as she has very rightly pointed out, that if you belong to a particular region and if you move to some other place, then also you are able to reap the benefits of all the things which have been guaranteed to you in your source area, whether it is ration benefit, whether it is health benefit. So whatever is being there, whether it is even voting rights also, बात चल रही है portability of voting. Because the point is many a time, अब suppose करो आपको वोट डालने जाना है, let us say elections हैं, आप बिहार से हो, आप काम कहीं और कर रहे हो, ठीक है, और आप कैजुअल लेबर की कैपेसिटी में काम कर रहे हो, अब आप वोट डालने जाओगे तो 2 से ढाई दिन तो पहुंचने में, 2 से ढाई दिन वापस आने में, और एक दिन लेट अस से आपके वोट देने में, 5 दिन की आपकी सैलरी चली गई एक वोट देने में. फिर आप कहोगे कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार दे देंगे. So the point here is, even though you are a legal member, citizen, you are being denied because the cost of moving from one place to another is also very high. So portability of benefits is it. तभी हम बात करें. That is what I said previously also, that there is one nation, one ration card. Ayushman Bharat cards would be nationally पोर्टेबल. एट नेशनल लेवल देयर इज पोर्टेबिलिटी ऑफ आयुष्मान भारत कार्ड, कि अगर आपको कहीं एक जगह आपने कार्ड एक्सेस किया है एंड इफ यू आर लेट अस से मूविंग टू सम अदर एरिया वेयर यू वांट टू अवेल the healthcare services in the impaneled hospital, then Ayushman Bharat card would work in that impaneled hospital, irrespective whichever domicile you belong to. So that is portability of benefits. Is this very clear for everyone? Can we proceed further? Okay. Next, we are talking about population policy. Population policy in India. एक questions लिखो. There would be some standard questions in case it is asked. Critically examine evolution of population policies in India. Evolution of population policies in India. 10 marker. Second, what do you mean by population policy? What do you mean by population policy? Question mark. Enumerate the factors responsible for its failure. Enumerate the factors responsible for its failure. Ten marker. Third, let's assume you are writing your mains next year. Next year it's 2025. Last population policy came in 2000. 25 साल. In context of 25 years, since the last population policy critically examine the need and nature, critically examine the need and nature of new population policy. Critically examine the need and nature of the new population policy. 10 marker. Let's try to answer these questions. So the first thing is, what do we mean by population policy? It says it is defined as a purposeful. बेटा mortality मैंने कहा था ना, जब population policy पढ़ाऊंगी तब उसमें पढ़ाऊंगी. purposeful measure which is aimed at affecting the demographic process, fertility, mortality, or migration. So population policy is a purposeful effort that you make so as to impact the demographic processes in the society, fertility, mortality, and migration. So mostly the population policy deals with fertility, mortality, and migration. As simple as that. There are two types of population policy, antenatal and distributional. Antenatal basically focuses on reducing the birth rate so as to stabilize the population. And distribution deals with to ensure concentration of population does not happen at one place. So it might be dealing with, let us say, issues of sex ratio, age structure, migration. So that will fall under the ambit of distributional, but controlling the birth rate to stabilize the population falls under the ambit of antenatal. Now, we have not yet studied anything, but have you heard something about population policies of India in past? So what was the nature of our population policy? Antenatal. हैंड्स डाउन, हमने डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे अभी फोकस ही नहीं करा. हम आज भी पॉपुलेशन को कंट्रोल ही करवा रहे हैं व्हेन इट इज ऑलरेडी बिलो द रिप्लेसमेंट level. ठीक है. So the point here is our focus has always been on antenatal rather than on the distributional aspect. So are the types of population policy clear? ठीक. Now it is through this table you can see how population policy in India has evolved. The story starts in pre-independence period. Pre-independence में Britishers understood that giving birth is a matter of core values and they should not interfere in the core values because chances of backfiring is very high. So their attitude was period of indifference. They would not be interfering in the matter of birth, death in context of Indian society. So that period of pre-independence was period of indifference. But our leadership very well knew that if population kept on growing, it is going to create challenge with respect to socio-economic development of the country. So for that, they had created some committees. For example, R.K. Mukherjee committee, for example, Bhor committee. But then obviously we were not in power. Okay. So when we got independence, we were very clear that population needs to be controlled. But post-independence, first 5 years, what we adopted was period of neutrality. Because there were other major issues which were confronting us. Integration of princely states. Issue of accession of Kashmir. There was first war with Pakistan. Hyderabad was creating its own issues. Poverty, agriculture crisis. So there were other major issues which were confronting Indian governance. So we did not proactively pursue population control. So as a result, first 5 years was period of neutrality. Then we moved ahead and we decided कि नहीं यार ऐसे काम नहीं चलेगा, हमें population को manage करना पड़ेगा. So 51 to 61 we declared as period of experimentation. And for the very first time, एक family planning program हम लाए थे that was launched in 1952. And along with that, we had introduced an approach which was known as clinical approach, which meant simple, that government will not create awareness about family planning, but in case there are couples who want to avail family planning benefits, then infrastructure would be provided by the state. Let us suppose somebody wants to have idea that how reproductive behavior has to be observed or how family planning or which family planning method needs to be adopted. So whatever requirement is there, state will provide. But state will not indulge in any kind of education reforms. Is that very clear? So then what happened? In 1961, we conducted a census. And we found decadal growth rate, समझते हैं 10 साल में population कितनी बढ़ी. It was approximately some 21.5% was our decadal population growth. हमारी कोई 100-200 की population नहीं है. So अगर 10 साल में 21% बढ़ रही है तो it is a substantial increase in the population. So this time we understood कि नहीं यार ये तो फिर मामला गड़बड़ा जाएगा और यही वो टाइम था agriculture crisis का. सो दिस वॉज द टाइम वी डिसाइडेड कि नहीं, पॉपुलेशन को अब कंट्रोल करना है. तो 61 से 71 का जो पीरियड था उसमें फिर हमने डिसाइड किया कि हम बहुत प्रोएक्टिवली मेजर्स लेंगे. जैसे वी थॉट हम एक्सटेंशन अप्रोच लेकर आएंगे, कैफेटेरिया अप्रोच लेकर आएंगे, सिलेक्टिव अप्रोच लेकर आएंगे. सो वी विल इंट्रोड्यूस ऑल दोज अप्रोचेस. तो एक्सटेंशन अप्रोच ये कह रहा था कि नाउ वी विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन एजुकेटिंग द पीपल. We will educate them about the benefits of small family, how small family needs to be planned, how one can access contraceptives. So every kind of education will be provided. This was our extension approach. इसको और इंसेंटिवाइज करने के लिए हमने कहा एक कैफेटेरिया अप्रोच लाते हैं. कैफे जाते हैं हम लोग, उसमें कैफे लाटे है, कैपेचिनो है, मोका है और जो भी आप लोग और दे. तो देयर आर मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस विच आर अवेलेबल. बट दुकान वाला ये थोड़ी ना कहते हैं नहीं नहीं आपको तो कैफे लाटे ही लेनी पड़ेगी. नहीं, आप अपनी चॉइस से ले सकते हैं. ठीक है. तो उन्होंने यही कहा कि हमारा काम है, हम उनको सारे तरीके बताएंगे फैमिली प्लानिंग के. वी विल नॉट इम्पोज आवर थॉट्स ऑन देम. चॉइस विल बी देयर which family planning method to be adopted. That is nothing but cafeteria approach. बट दिक्कत ये थी, पॉपुलेशन थी थोड़ी ज्यादा, समय था काफी कम. तो वी वांटेड कि बेटर बेनिफिट शुड बी प्रोवाइडेड इन लिमिटेड स्पैन ऑफ टाइम. तो फिर हमने सोचा लेट्स अडॉप्ट अ वेरी सिलेक्टिव अप्रोच. लेट्स आइडेंटिफाई द एज ब्रैकेट वेयर द रिप्रोडक्टिव बिहेवियर इज एट इट्स पीक, दैट इज 25 to 35. तो हमने कहा लेट्स टारगेट द कपल्स इन द एज ब्रैकेट 25 to 35 so that with minimum resources maximum results can be gained. तो हमने बड़े अच्छे से 10 साल शिद्दत से we have done this. फिर क्या था, फिर आ गया एग्जाम का टाइम. The census was conducted and this time the growth rate was 24.6%. तो ठीक है, हो जाता है. So then we realized none of this is working, and for the very first time we decided let's have a national population policy, because till now we did not have any national population policy. So actually the original draft of population policy came during the time of Congress, but that was the period of emergency. और emergency में वो forced sterilization हो ही गया था, I've already told you, because of which the party has lost the power. तो जो actual हम year लिखते हैं वो हम लिखते हैं National Population Policy 1978, when Janata Party came to power. Is this very clear for everyone? यहां तक की स्टोरी क्लियर हुई. यहां पे दो चीजें हैं where I want to draw your attention. ठीक है. एक, when emergency happened, तो forced sterilization happened. One, it was wrong on the level that first you should not impose. People should have, आप awareness create करो but then give them the freedom to choose. But उससे एक major fallback ये हो गया, nobody understood that it is the forced nature which backfired. Everybody thought it is the male sterilization which backfired. So now the people who were in power, so as to remain in power, they decided let's move from male sterilization to female sterilization. Because it's a patriarchal society, so male sterilization is negatively impacting the machoism or manhood of the men in a patriarchal setup, which might not well accepted by the society. So the focus shifted from male to female sterilization, and it is wrong on many parts. पहली चीज है कि vasectomy, that is male sterilization, is not life threatening. Tubectomy can cause threat to the life of the women. There have been cases because of women's sterilization, as in tubectomy, there are women who had succumbed to those interventions. So एक तो ये चीज हो गई. दूसरी, MS Swaminathan has also acknowledged the fact it's a patriarchal setup. You cannot put the entire onus of family planning on women, who anyway has no rights of decision making with respect to reproductive health. So reproduction as a concept, both the party has to be equally partner in that. You cannot put the entire onus of controlling the family on the women. और आज ये नौबत है कि अगर 100 स्टरलाइजेशन होते हैं उसमें से 97 स्टरलाइजेशन are tubectomy. And another report says 34% of the Indian women are already sterilized. So the point here is that we need to understand that forced sterilization was wrong on many levels because the overall policy of the government underwent a change. Is it making sense for everyone? Write down the first thing. national population policy, national population policy 1978, 1978. You don't need to worry about this clinical cafeteria, ये सब लिखा है यहाँ पर, मतलब I'm not dictating it because it is here, but you understood now whatever we discussed. National population policy 1978, write down. Renaming family planning to family welfare program. उन्होंने नाम ही बदल दिया प्रोग्राम का कि फैमिली प्लानिंग के नाम से सरकार गिर सकती है, सो फैमिली प्लानिंग से उन्होंने फैमिली वेलफेयर कर दिया. Implementation of, second point, implementation of Child Marriage Restraint Act. Implementation of Child Marriage Restraint Act. The age for men and women was increased to 21 and 18 respectively. ये अभी हुआ था, इससे पहले 14 and 18 था, यहां पर 18 and 21 किया गया था. So marriageable age was made 18 and 21. Marriageable age was made 18 and 21 for girls and boys respectively. For girls and boys respectively. Next, voluntary sterilization. Voluntary sterilization. Voluntary sterilization. Next, monetary incentives. Monetary incentives for sterilization. Monetary incentives for sterilization. इसी को मार्क कर लो और बोलो, this was criticized by M.S. Swaminathan. This was criticized by M.S. Swaminathan. He was not in the favor of monetary incentives. It was criticized by M.S. Swaminathan. Next. Including population education, as a part of study curriculum, including population education as a part of study curriculum. Next, population education को inbox कर लो. Next point, use of media for spreading awareness. Use of media for spreading awareness. Use of media for spreading awareness. And last point, thrust towards research in reproductive biology and contraception. Thrust towards research in reproductive biology and contraception. Reproductive biology and contraception. Very quick read, jaldi se. Just read National Population Policy 1978. जो मेजर इश्यूज थे उस टाइम के उसको एड्रेस कर लिया था. स्टरलाइजेशन वॉज मेड वॉलंटरी. वी वर इन द फेवर ऑफ पॉपुलेशन education. Minimum age of marriage was increased. It was not just about family planning, it was more about the welfare of the family. The focus was to generate more awareness and outreach by making use of media. And further, any kind of research in reproductive biology and contraceptions needs to be promoted. But here it is a keyword that says population education. ठीक है. Now before we proceed further, just have this look at this definition. Population education is defined as a process by which student investigate, explore nature and meaning of the population process, characteristics, causes, consequences for himself, family, society and the world. इस डेफिनेशन को दोबारा पढ़ो. बेटा जहां पे भी मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट्स होते हैं ना, आई थिंक इन वन ऑफ द लेक्चर आई वाज मेंशनिंग दिस, चांसेस ऑफ करप्शन आर वेरी हाई. फिर क्या हो जाएगा, सपोज करो आप किसी को इंसेंटिव दे रहे हो, तो फिर क्या होता है, मिसयूज हो जाता है उसका. ठीक है, तो वो वही कह रहे थे कि लॉन्ग टर्म इफ यू वांट समथिंग टू सस्टेन, सो क्रिएट मोर अवेयरनेस. इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन क्लियर? नाउ लेट अस सपोज वी डोंट स्टडी एनीथिंग फर्दर, and based on this definition I ask you to give me objectives of population education in India. Give the heading. Objective of population education in India. Yeah, see, there can be multiple perspectives to that, but since we are in society class, and if I have to answer from social perspective, I'll say there exists sexual division of labor, where it is assumed that male is the breadwinner. So you have to complete a basic education so as to get a proper job. So that is one of the reason. Second is, again, a social factor. It is assumed that women, the prime purpose of the existence of girls in the society is to bear and beget a male child. So earlier she is getting married. The chances of having more reproductive years at her disposal is there. So fulfilling that objective of son meta preference would be easier. So one, assuming that there exists a sexual division of labor where male has to be the breadwinner, that is one of the factor. And second, giving that thing, because kaha jata hai that the most safe age for the women to deliver the child, matlab in healthy manner, both for the mother as well as the child, is 20 to 24. That is one of the. अगर socially पूछो, अब वो साइकोलॉजिकली वगैरह लोग क्या कहते हैं, दैट इज फॉर देम. अगर मुझे इसको भी सोशल एंगल से देखना हो कि हाउ विमेन बिलीव दैट विमेन आर मोर मैच्योर और दे अचीव मैच्योरिटी एंड एन अर्ली एज, बिकॉज द गर्ल्स इन आवर सोसाइटी आर नॉट अलाउड टू मेक एरर्स. राइट द time they are being born, they are always been shouldered with the responsibility कि तुमको दूसरे के घर जाना है. So as a result, you have to behave in a certain manner. You should know domestic chores. You have to always learn to sacrifice for others. You have to think about others in the family. So not going by the behavioral sciences, but applying my sociology here, I would say different process of socialization. That leads to women attaining maturity at an early stage as compared to the boys. ठीक है, जैसे बॉयज अगर बहुत साल तक भी नहीं सुधरते तो फिर लोग ये कह देते कि इसकी शादी कर दो फिर सुधर जाएगा. तो मैं सोसाइटी कहती है, मतलब मैं तो जानती हूँ तुम लोग बहुत सुधरे हुए हो. सो आर द डेफिनेशन क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? डिड यू रीड इट? ठीक है. नाउ बेस्ड ऑन दिस डेफिनेशन गिव मी ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन. और अगर नई भी डेफिनेशन के आधार पे देना है तो खुद एक बस सोच के बताओ that let us assume you have to teach someone about population. Population education का मतलब educating the person about the population. तो इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आपकी पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन के क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होंगे, क्या बताओगे आप? Did I miss some joke? क्या था? ओ अच्छा, हाँ बताओ बताओ, क्या एजुकेट करें? अरे थोड़ा बेटा, यहां तो मैं एक पॉइंट पे बोलती हूँ सोचने के लिए. मेंस में 20 क्वेश्चन होंगे और हर पे सोचना पड़ेगा क्योंकि आता नहीं होगा. और इसलिए नहीं है कि हमारी पढ़ाई में, पढ़ाई तो हम A1 करते हैं, पता नहीं क्वेश्चन वो कैसे पूछ लेते हैं, बेकार ना हो तो. हाँ सोचो. नहीं, ऑन अ सीरियस नोट, पॉपुलेशन के बारे में अगर किसी को एजुकेट करेंगे, लेट अस से इन इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट, तो हाँ जी, सबसे बड़ा है तो ठीक है, पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल है, लेकिन बेटा उससे पहले क्या बताएंगे? ठीक है, व्हाट इज द करंट स्टेटस ऑफ आवर डेमोग्राफी? सबसे पहली चीज तो हम यही बताएंगे, व्हाट इज द करंट स्टेटस ऑफ डेमोग्राफी। उसके बाद इन केस इन आर डेमोग्राफी फर्टिलिटी रेट इज हायर, which usually was the case. So we will make them aware about the causes that why in our country fertility rate has been higher. And in case it is higher, then how it is having negative implication at social level, economic level, political level, cultural level, most importantly at the level of environment. So high population growth vis-a-vis environment. Then if the population continues to grow, then how it is going to impact the individual, how it is impacting society, how it is impacting nation, and how it is going to impact your growth prospects in the later stages. Is it making sense? तो अब वो बोलेंगे तो फिर क्या करें, आपने तो इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स बता दी। तो हम कहेंगे अगला ऑब्जेक्टिव है ये बताने का, द सोल्यूशन इज स्मॉल फैमिली। तो फिर नाउ वी विल ट्राई टू कन्विंस देम व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय स्मॉल फैमिली, what are the benefits of having small family, how small family can be ensured through various family planning methods. तो हो सकता है सामने वाला कहे कि having my own family is my own discretion, who are you to interfere? तो फिर हमें उन्हें बताना पड़ेगा कि हम लोग सब एक समाज में रहते हैं, and whatever actions that we are performing are having consequences for others also. Hence we should be morally responsible for our action, and we should promote what is known as sustainable development. बस ऐसे ही। और फिर यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछता है, व्हाट आर द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन। आपको समझ आ रहा? ठीक है, तो पॉपुलेशन अच्छा एक बात ये बताओ, ये समझते हो कि पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन के अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स यहां पूछ रहे हैं, स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्री में पूछ रहे हैं, डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड में पूछ रहे हैं, सब जगह वेरी करेगा, है ना, क्योंकि वहां की पॉपुलेशन की डेमोग्राफी इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम आर्स। तो ऑलवेज स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द नेचर ऑफ द डेमोग्राफी, एंड देन डिपेंडिंग अपॉन दैट नेचर यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम्स, implication, and what needs to be done. So sometimes you might get a question which you were not expecting, but even then don't leave any question in society. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स का मतलब ही सिंपल होता है कि अगर आज आपको किसी को एजुकेट करना है पॉपुलेशन के बारे में, तो आप किन डायमेंशंस पे एजुकेट करोगे। मैंने आपको ऐसे की क्लास में एक चीज पढ़ाई थी, इशू बेस्ड, बॉडी को मल्टी डायमेंशनल बनाने के लिए, और उसमें मैंने कहा था सबसे पहले कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, स्टेटिस्टिक्स होता है, कॉजेज होते हैं, इम्प्लीकेशन होते हैं, गवर्नमेंट एफर्ट्स होते हैं, लैक्यूनाज होते हैं, वे फॉरवर्ड होते हैं। अगर किसी क्वेश्चन में नहीं समझ आ रहा, तो क्या आपकी पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन के यही ऑब्जेक्टिव्स नहीं बन जाएंगे? Are you getting the point? Objectives of population education. First, demographic concept and process. Rapid growth of population and its causes. Influence of population trends on various aspects of human life, socio, political, economic, cultural. Close interaction of population with the development process. Evil effect of overpopulation on environment. Developing appreciation of the fact that small family is desirable. Awareness about the government policies and programs. Empowering the people to make informed decisions and to making them aware how action of individual members is affecting others in the society. Hence they should be morally responsible for their action. Is it making sense? ये actual objectives हैं। तो अगर आप कहानी की तरह भी अनफोल्ड करना चाहोगे, तो इफ नॉट एड वर्बैटम, बट यू वुड बी राइटिंग समथिंग विच इज क्लोज टू द टॉपिक. दिस इज द एक्चुअल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन एजुकेशन. इज इट मेकिंग सेंस फॉर एवरीवन? इज इट क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? कैन वी प्रोसीड? ठीक, नेक्स्ट, नेशनल पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी 2000. हाँ, एक सेकंड बस रुकना. बेनिफिट्स ऑफ स्मॉल फैमिली, लेस पॉपुलेशन कैन बी मैनेज. अच्छा, एक्सेस टू रिसोर्स बढ़ जाएगा, ठीक है. फ्रैगमेंटेशन इन एसिड्स, बस इतना करना दीपक, जैसे तुमने फ्रैगमेंटेशन इन एसिड कर दिया ना, ये एकदम पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट हो गया, इसको इकोनॉमिक के अंडर डाल दो, बस इतना करना है. teaching children to study biology seriously instead of making inappropriate jokes about it. Before that, teachers should also know that they are not supposed to tell the student that 9th chapter will not be taught. And you have to do that on your own. You unnecessarily create, मतलब don't, पता नहीं आपके साथ, हमारे साथ तो हुआ था. और this is a very human nature कि जब आपको कोई चीज ऐसे बोली जाती है, ठीक है, but yeah, point is fine. Is this clear? Can we proceed to the next? National Population Policy 2000. Just write few lines about it. It was introduced with the objective of social and economic development. It was introduced with the objective of social and economic development. That's the first point. Second, to improve the quality of life, comma, to provide them with opportunity and choice, to become productive assets in the society. Underline quality of life, opportunity, choice. So to improve the quality of life, providing them opportunities and choices to become the productive asset. ये overall vision था नेशनल पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी 2000 का. इसके बाद कोई पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी नहीं आई है. This population policy had 3 objectives. Write down. It had 3 objectives. पहला, immediate objective. To address the unmet needs, for contraception, comma, healthcare infrastructure, comma, workforce, and provide integrated service delivery with respect to RCH. Give me 5 minutes, I'll explain. Reproductive and child health को बोलते हैं RCH. Reproductive and child health, RCH. Midterm. To reduce TFR, total fertility rate, to 2.1, to reduce TFR to 2.1 by 2010. We have achieved this, although हम 10 साल delay थे, लेकिन at least we have achieved this target. Long-term target, to stabilize the population by 2045. To stabilize the population by 2045. I have used a term here, RCH. This was actually introduced in 1997. मैं सिर्फ आपको एक chronology समझा रही हूं, बस वो देखना. Actually, in the beginning, the term used was MCH, maternal and child health. But then in 1993, MS Swaminathan said, you cannot put the entire onus of family planning on women. And if reproduction as a concept it has to be neutral. The facilities, healthcare information or policies has to be provided both to the mother as well as the father. So then in 1997, we introduced the concept of RCH, where reproduction would be focused irrespective of maternal or paternal. So then it was RCH. But then we realized that the birth to the child is being given by a mother, and mother's needs are very different. So then we decided, let's have reproductive maternal child health. जिससे क्या हुआ, हम रिप्रोडक्शन में मेल को इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, बट मैटरनल के लिए हम सेपरेट पॉलिसीज रखेंगे. But then we realize कि child is an umbrella term, because newborn child has very different requirement for the grown-up children. So then we said, let's make it reproductive, maternal, newborn child health. Then we realized that among children also there is categorization, and then we further expanded it to reproductive, maternal, newborn child health plus adolescent. प्लस इसलिए ओपन टू फर्दर एडिशंस. और ये आप कई जगह देखोगे, है ना. अब समझ आया ये कैसे बना. सो दैट इज हाउ इट हैज इवॉल्व्ड. And if you ever come across this term again, did you understand reproductive, maternal, newborn child health plus adolescent? So it all started with MCH, then RCH, then this, then this, then this. अब याद रहेगा, ठीक है. And ये आप ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो. What are the government efforts with respect to the demography or population management? This is one of the efforts. Clear है, ठीक. Now we will answer need of new population policy. ठीक, क्योंकि अब 2000 के बाद कुछ नहीं है हमारे पास. We have no other population policy. इससे भी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात है, जब 2020 आया तो मैंने बड़ी मेहनत से कि यार 20 साल हो गए, इस बार तो यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछेगी. बट नहीं यार, मुझे फायदा था क्योंकि क्वेश्चन सोशियोलॉजी में आ गया. So the question was in sociology paper, that national population policy पे question आ गया. Then we were expecting a question, but I'll honestly confess I was expecting a question in society, but they asked in sociology. हो सकता है अगले साल शायद वो सोसाइटी में पूछ लें, या हो सकता है फिर से वो सोशियोलॉजी में पूछ लें. So that I can't say, but yes, you might get a question. ठीक है, चलो. Need for new population policy. पहला पॉइंट, ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ सक्सेस, ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ सक्सेस on parameters such as IMR, CMR and IMR, CMR and MMR, we need a new population policy. We need a new population policy. Just hold. Coordinator sir, please do me a favor. Latest data IMR, CMR, MMR. आप मुझे NFHS 5 से दे दो, ठीक है, बट डेटा दे दो. अब इस पॉइंट को अंडरलाइन करो, एंड दिस बिकम्स द टॉपिक फॉर मोर्टैलिटी. हम बोल रहे थे ना मोर्टैलिटी का टॉपिक मैं आपको नीड फॉर न्यू पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी में पढ़ाऊंगी. अब ये पॉइंट पहला फिर से पढ़ो और बताओ क्या हम इसमें मोर्टैलिटी पढ़ सकते. आई एम सेइंग दैट वी हैव नॉट अचीव द डिजायरेबल सक्सेस विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू रिड्यूसिंग IMR, MMR एंड CMR. मतलब आज भी infant mortality rate, child mortality rate, maternal mortality rate is high. What are the causes? So that becomes the topic, why mortality rate still is high in India. Is it making sense? So give the sub point. Causes. 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 Write down. Pehla. Due to poverty, illiteracy, and lack of proper implementation of government policies with respect to prenatal, perinatal, postnatal. प्रीनेटल मतलब ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी, पेरीनेटल मतलब ड्यूरिंग डिलीवरी, postnatal मतलब post the birth of the child. For prenatal, government has come up with a scheme, प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षित मातृत्व अभियान. प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षित मातृत्व अभियान. पेरीनेटल जननी सुरक्षा योजना. जननी सुरक्षा योजना इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरीज के लिए है. जननी सुरक्षा योजना. पोस्ट नेटल मतलब पोस्ट डिलीवरी जननी शिशु सुरक्षा कार्यक्रम. जननी शिशु सुरक्षा कार्यक्रम. Just one heads up, if there is any scheme, any act, any policy that we mention in the class, you have to prepare it. If not in detail, at least which ministry and what are the objectives. That's the basic minimum. ठीक है, इतना हम समझते हैं कि यार schemes class में पढ़ना, फिर वो कोर्स, ये तो यार सिर्फ इतना हम करते हैं कि यूजुअली क्लास होती है स्कीम्स की, वो प्रीलिम्स के पहले हो जाती है. तो जब भी प्रीलिम्स वगैरह होगा तो आई एम श्योर स्कीम्स की क्लास होगी एंड यू कैन रेफर दिस. ठीक है, बट इज दिस क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, हाई फर्टिलिटी रेट. हाई फर्टिलिटी रेट लीडिंग टू हाई फर्टिलिटी रेट leading to maternal depletion syndrome. High fertility rate leading to maternal depletion syndrome. Actually जो women में malnourishment आता है due to early pregnancy, frequent pregnancy, that is known as maternal depletion syndrome. तो आप ये टर्म यूज कर सकते हो. होता है ना कि व्हेन अर्ली मैरिजेस वगैरह होता है तो अर्ली प्रेगनेंसी हो जाती है, नॉलेज नहीं होती तो फ्रीक्वेंट प्रेगनेंसी हो जाती है, डिजायर फॉर मेल चाइल्ड. ऐसे में कभी कभी क्या होता है कि सेक्स स्पेसिफिक अबॉर्शन होने लगते हैं. सो ओवरऑल जो न्यूट्रिशनल प्रोफाइल है विमेन का वो डिक्लाइन कर जाता है, इसलिए इसको कहा जाता है मैटरनल डिप्लीशन सिंड्रोम. क्लियर है? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, lack of qualitative medical infrastructure. Lack of qualitative medical infrastructure. Now just inbox this point, lack of qualitative medical infrastructure, और ब्रैकेट में लिखो covered, will be covered in health lecture. उसका रीजन बताती हूं. इस पे अपने आप हम एक पेज का लेक्चर तैयार कर सकते हैं. दैट क्वालिटेटिव हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज नॉट देयर. मुझे इश्यूज विथ हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एनीवे आपको पढ़ाना है. सो ऑल दोज पॉइंट्स विच आई विल टीच यू देयर यू कैन ऐड हियर. ठीक है, Next point. Unsafe abortions due to stigma related to adolescent pregnancies. Stigma related to adolescent pregnancies, comma, unwed pregnancies. Unwed pregnancies. Unsafe abortion due to stigma related to either adolescent pregnancies or unwed pregnancy. यही reason है Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act has been amended. उसमें एक provision होता है failure of contraceptive. That if someone has conceived due to failure of contraceptive, you have the right to abort the child. But in the initial act, this right was available only to the married women. Now this criteria for married women has been removed. That is basically because that in situation of unwed pregnancy or adolescent pregnancies, since it was एक तो legally allowed नहीं था, दूसरा stigma associated था, chances of unsafe abortion was very high, and because of which due to various infections and everything, maternal mortality was increasing. तो इस चीज को address करने के लिए भी Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act has been amended. Now, failure of contraceptive, if it is the reason, you can terminate the pregnancy irrespective of your marital status. Is this clear? Next point. Patriarchal systems deny women, patriarchal system deny women access to contraceptives, comma, safe and legal abortion, comma, lack of access and awareness with respect to menstrual health, lack of access and awareness with respect to menstrual health, comma, freedom to decide the timing and spacing of pregnancy, etc. Just wait. ये जो पॉइंट्स हमने लिखे ना, कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव aspect, safe and legal abortion, menstrual health, timing and spacing between the pregnancy, this is nothing but, in short, example of reproductive and sexual health rights. एक टॉपिक है आपके इस बार के मेंस 365 में भी है, reproductive and sexual health rights. तो कभी क्वेश्चन बने, what is this reproductive and sexual health rights? This is what it is. When you have access to safe abortion, when you have awareness about contraceptives, when you have awareness about on access to menstrual health, there is proper sanitation. You can decide when to have the children, how many children to have, and have proper spacing between the children. Then it is referred as reproductive and sexual health rights. Is this very clear for everyone? Next point. Lack of safe wash. है ब्रेक बेटा, भी तो 1 घंटा हुआ है. लिखो, lack of safe wash. What is this? Access to safe drinking water, sanitation and hygiene. Wash. Safe drinking water, sanitation and hygiene. Water, sanitation and hygiene. Next point. Superstitious belief and practices. Superstitious belief and practices. superstitious belief and practices. See, with respect to most of the maternal mortalities that often, yeah, maternal depletion syndrome that also happens because of superstitious beliefs and practices. Did I give you that case study with respect to Rajasthan? Usme there was Oxfam and all, they keep on doing the researches and everything. So case study thi that in that community, it was a superstitious belief that if a pregnant woman eats more, then she is going to give birth to a girl child. And if she eats less, then she's going to give birth to the boy child. So at least for those 9 months living in that illusionary world that maybe she's going to give birth to the boy child, even if she was hungry, she was not being fed food. Because they were living under this impression. Second, during pregnancy, it is believed that iron levels वगैरह कम होते हैं, iron supplements वगैरह दिए जाते हैं, वो folic acid and everything it is being given. वो ये मानते थे कि I'm putting it this way because ऐसे ही था, वो ये मान रहे थे certain community, not the entire area but wherever the case study was done. So वो ये मानते थे कि अगर ये iron tablets खाएंगे तो ये बहुत गर्म होती है, इसकी तासीर बहुत गर्म होती है, तो जिससे क्या होगा कि भूत पकड़ लेगा. तो नहीं यार, अब इसमें हम कुछ, इट्स अ सुपरस्टिशियस बिलीफ एंड यू कांट क्वेश्चन, तभी उसको सुपरस्टिशन कहते हैं ना. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे वर नॉट फीडिंग द विमेन. अगर आशा वर्कर्स वगैरह न्यूट्रिशनल सप्लीमेंट्स देकर भी जाते थे ना, तो भी वो लोग खाते नहीं थे. So that is all about the beliefs and practices. And if you remember, I clearly remember, मैंने आपको ethics में भी एक study बताई थी जो tribal के context में था कि when they used to brand their children with hot iron rod कि इससे malnourishment खत्म हो जाए. So the point here is you are causing more sufferings to the children. और यही reasons हैं why IMR, CMR, MMR, they are all on the rise. बहुत सारे बिलीफ प्रैक्टिसेस होते हैं किसी किसी कम्युनिटी में कि अगर लड़का नहीं हो रहा है तो उनको लगता है कि एक बच्चे का मतलब वो कर दो, बलि वगैरह दे दो या तो उससे हो जाए. तो देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. सी, ऐसा नहीं है कि द प्रैक्टिसेस आर नॉट एग्जिस्टिंग. Sometimes we are aware of it, many times we are not. But one of the reason why these incidences are happening are superstitious beliefs and practices. Are we clear on this? Is the mortality part clear for everyone? Is it making sense? ठीक. Next point पे आ जाओ. पहला point is done. अभी तक हम पहले ही point पे थे. Need of new population policy का ये पहला point था. Now we are writing the second point. Second point, why we need a new population policy. Second point is, although the sex ratio has improved, it remains a challenge at birth. It still remains a challenge at birth. It still remains a challenge at birth. नेक्स्ट, पहला पॉइंट था मॉर्टैलिटी, दूसरा पॉइंट है स्क्यूड सेक्स रेशियो, तीसरा पॉइंट द पेस एट विच माइग्रेशन इज हैपनिंग, द पेस एट विच माइग्रेशन इज हैपनिंग एंड क्रिएटिंग स्ट्रेस on infrastructure and social relationships. Infrastructure and social relationships. We need a policy to address this issue. We need a policy to address this issue. The third reason why we need a new population policy is migration. Fourth point. The age structure is undergoing a change. Age structure is undergoing a change where the population is aging, Hence, to reap the benefits of longevity dividend. Hence, to reap the benefits of longevity dividend, we need a new policy. We need a new policy. So the first reason was IMR, MMR, CMR. Second reason is sex ratio. Third reason is migration. Fourth reason is age structure. Aging population is increasing. These are those basic reasons why at this point of time we genuinely need a new population policy. Overall concluding remark likho. Hence, we need a policy which addresses above mentioned issues. We need a policy which addresses above mentioned issues, comma, above mentioned issues, comma, focuses on young people, focuses on young population, focuses on young population, comma, which is based on piecemeal engineering, which is based on piecemeal engineering approach, piecemeal engineering approach. यहां पे वो वाला पीस है, पीसेस वाला, पीस वाला नहीं, पीसेस, हाँ, piecemeal engineering approach, comma, it should be a convergent approach. It should be a convergent approach both horizontally and vertically. Both horizontally and vertically. Have we ever discussed convergent approach? Both horizontally and vertically. हम इसे और भी जगह यूज कर सकते हैं अर्बनाइजेशन वगैरह में. वर्टिकल का मतलब होता है नेशनल लेवल, स्टेट लेवल, ठीक है, लोकल लेवल, ठीक. सो दैट इज वर्टिकल कन्वर्जेंस. कन्वर्जेंस मतलब बेटर कोऑर्डिनेशन, जिससे कि डुप्लीकेशन नहीं हो, ओवरस्टेपिंग ऑफ ज्यूरिसडिक्शन नहीं हो. तो नेशनल लेवल, स्टेट लेवल, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल, लोकल लेवल, सो देयर हैज टू बी अ प्रॉपर कन्वर्जेंस, वर्टिकल. हॉरिजॉन्टल कन्वर्जेंस का मतलब होता है कि यू हैव टू एड्रेस वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स. अगर मुझे ये जो नई पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी चाहिए, ये कोई एक यूनिडायमेंशनल कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है. हमको आज भी मैटरनल चाइल्ड हेल्थ पे फोकस करना पड़ेगा, हमको मैल नरिशमेंट को एड्रेस करना पड़ेगा, सैनिटेशन को करना पड़ेगा, हाइजीन को करना पड़ेगा, एजुकेशन को करना पड़ेगा, हेल्थ को करना पड़ेगा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को करना पड़ेगा. तो किसी एक एटीट्यूड को चेंज करना पड़ेगा. तो किसी एक डायरेक्शन में बाय फोकसिंग यू कैन नॉट ब्रिंग अबाउट द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट. सो देयर हैज टू बी वर्टिकल कोऑर्डिनेशन, देयर हैज टू बी हॉरिजॉन्टल coordination. So the need of the hour is to have a convergent approach. Is this very clear for everyone? यहां तक clear है सबको? ठीक है. So with this, population and associated issues comes to an end. We'll start with a fresh topic, that is urbanization. ठीक है. So give the heading. हाँ जी. IMR 35.2. IMR 35.2. MMR 97. MMR 97. एक बार CMR कंफर्म करना ना. अगर तो ये है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, पर ये हो नहीं सकता. नहीं मतलब मैं गलत भी हो सकती हूँ, एक बार क्रॉस चेक कर ले. ठीक है. सो IMR is 35.2. द टारगेट इज टू रिड्यूस इट इन सिंगल डिजिट बाय 2030, क्योंकि 2030 में सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स के टारगेट्स मीट होने हैं. तो इट हैज टू बी रिड्यूस टू सिंगल डिजिट. MMR currently is 97. The target is to reduce it to below 70. ठीक है. And that again is 2030 का टारगेट. अच्छा, एक और चीज हो सकती है, नेक्स्ट ईयर आपसे सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स पे सवाल बन सकते हैं, क्योंकि 10 साल हुए हैं. So they might ask you in these 10 years what have we achieved. तो अगर आप अपना मेंस नेक्स्ट ईयर लिख रहे हैं तो 17 गोल्स तैयार कर लेना. ठीक है। और वो दो फायदा है, अगर डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं भी आया तो वो किसी और क्वेश्चन में चेपने के लिखने के काम आ जाएगा। सो सॉरी तो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स हैज टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड वेल। एंड मैं जो सोशल जस्टिस की क्लास लूंगी उसमें मैं आपको सिखा दूंगी कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स कैसे करते हैं। पावर्टी का, हंगर का, हेल्थ का, ये तो मैं ही दूंगी, तो मैं सिखा भी दूंगी कि हाउ टू प्रिपेयर इट। ठीक है। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ अर्बनाइजेशन। क्लास एंड तो देखो मुझे वैसे 2:30 बजे करनी थी, बट इन्होंने लेट करवा दिया, तो थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते। ठीक है, शर्म ही नहीं आती मतलब थोड़ा सा बस ऐसे शुरू कर देते जिससे कि अगली क्लास में मुझ पे प्रेशर कम हो। सो लेट्स जस्ट स्टार्ट। अर्बनाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, अर्बनिज्म क्या है, टाइप्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन, प्रॉब्लम्स एसोसिएटेड विद अर्बनाइजेशन, वे फॉरवर्ड। बस ये देखने में छोटा लगता है, वो जो पढ़ने बैठो तो वो, और इस पे सवाल आ सकता है भाई। इस साल सोशो कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट, वैसे भी देयर हैव बीन टाइम्स व्हेन दे हैव आस्क्ड द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन। बस हमें इतना देखना होता है कि वो सोसाइटी में पूछेंगे या ज्योग्राफी में, क्योंकि 2 से 3 बार दे हैव आस्क्ड इन सोसाइटी, बट 2 to 3 times दे हैव आस्क्ड इन ज्योग्राफी ऑल्सो। ऐसे के उसमें बोल रहे हो मीडिया इज अ थ्रेट फॉर इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी, तो स्टार्ट कैसे यार? एग्जाम्पल फिर इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी से ही स्टार्ट करोगे, यू कांट स्टार्ट विथ रवांडन रेडियो वाला एग्जाम्पल, नहीं। ये ऐसे ही चलता है मेरे साथ तो, कि सोसाइटी की क्लास में एथिक्स का डाउट, एथिक्स की क्लास में ऐसे का डाउट नहीं, लेकिन इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट का ही एग्जाम्पल होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज द एग्जामिनर कैन मिसअंडरस्टैंड दैट यू हैव मिसअंडरस्टूड द टॉपिक. सो इंट्रोडक्शन में ये रिस्क नहीं उठा सकते. ठीक है, कैन वी स्टार्ट दिस? Urbanization as a concept, it is defined as a process of movement of people from rural to urban areas which also involves change in occupation and value system. So basically, urbanization is defined as a process in which you are moving. It involves a physical movement from rural to urban area. But it is not confined to this one understanding. It also involves change in occupation as well as the overall value system. So it's not just about the physical movement, it is also about the change in occupation and the value system. Is the definition part clear? Associated with urbanization is the ideology of urbanism. It is an ideology associated with urbanization, according to which society is organized along following lines. It is organized along following lines. High level of technology, complex division of labor. See, complex division of labor can also be referred as specialization. So, urban areas are characterized by urbanism. उसका मतलब होता है कि society is organized along the following lines. पहला है high level of technology, दूसरा है specialization. Do you realize जितना specialization होगा उतना we will be economically interdependent on each other. So the next is economic interdependence. ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं, anonymity and heterogeneity, individualism, impersonality in social relationships. High level of technology, complex division of labor, economic interdependence, anonymity, heterogeneity, individualism. Impersonality का मतलब होता है lack of emotions. हमने किया था ना वेबर का इम्पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट. तो इम्पर्सनलिटी का मतलब होता है लैक ऑफ इमोशंस. अर्बन एरियाज में ऑफन इमोशंस आर मिसिंग इन सोशल रिलेशनशिप्स. वी आर टू इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक, वी आर टू मटीरियलिस्टिक, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच वो जो इमोशनल कॉम्पोनेंट है रिलेशनशिप में दैट इज मिसिंग. सो वी विल नेवर से गुड बैड, दैट्स फॉर यू टू डिसाइड, बट दीज आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक एट्रीब्यूट्स. कैन वी मूव टू टाइप्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन? यहां पे कोई, अरे अभी तो टाइम नहीं हुआ। अच्छा, टाइप्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन कर लो, प्रॉब्लम अगली क्लास में कर लेंगे, ठीक है? कर लो यार। मजेदार बात होती है कि क्लास में माहौल ये है, और मैं अगर कह दूं यार मेरे को सच में थ्रोट में इन्फेक्शन है, इतनी दवाइयां खा खा के आना है, तो मुझे कहते मैम बिल्कुल क्लास हम 1 मिनट इधर उधर नहीं कर सकते, बच्चे एकदम वो हो जाते हैं कि क्लास। मैंने कहा ये कौन से बच्चे हैं, क्योंकि हमें जो क्लास में मिल रहे हैं वो तो बहुत अलग हैं। मतलब ये कौन से बच्चे हैं जो कह रहे हैं नहीं नहीं मैम वो तो बिल्कुल कह रहे हैं कि कोर्स तुरंत। मैंने कहा हमको वो हर क्लास में कहते मैम हो गया बस ये वो। मैंने कहा एक बार या तो आप अलग बच्चों से बात कर रहे हैं और हम अलग को पढ़ा रहे हैं, या आप हमको समझा रहे हैं, तो दोनों में तो कोई तो बात है, इसलिए थोड़ा पढ़ लेते हैं। देखो आज एंटीबायोटिक खाई हुई है, असर ठीक है अभी थोड़ी देर, तो एक टाइप्स यार, 2 मिनट बस टाइप्स। मैं तुम लोग की ही साइड हूं, आई एम नॉट दी अदर साइड, आई एम ऑन योर साइड। सो बस टाइप्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन कर लो, फिर छुट्टी। वो जो ट्यूशन टीचर नहीं होते, मुझे वो वाली फीलिंग आ रही है कि ये खा लो। हाँ, इस बात से मैं अनुभव तुम्हारे अग्री करूंगी मैम, 2 वीक से लगातार इतनी सोसाइटी पढ़ ली, इतनी तो सोसाइटी बड़ी नहीं है जितनी। हाँ, ये मैं तुमसे बिल्कुल अग्री करूंगी। टाइप्स ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन, the first is over urbanization, then it is suburbanization, and then is counter urbanization. Just make this and I'll explain. कहां से था वो? अच्छा, हाँ वही मैंने कहा ना, हो नहीं सकता इतना नहीं। पहले हमारे पास जो डेटा था वो CMR was saying it is 9.6, मैं तो दिल में मैं कहा इतना अचीव कब, बट NFHS5 is saying it is 42. So CMR is 42. Types of urbanization. when level of urbanization, now listen carefully, when level of urbanization, as in people moving in urban area, it surpasses the potential of that area to absorb the population, that is to provide amenities to the population, opportunities to the population, then it is referred as over urbanization. So when levels of urbanization is surpassing the level of industrialization, then it is referred as over urbanization. Because more and more people are migrating in your area, and the capacity of your area to provide them job, resources, education, skill, health is limited. So then it is referred as over urbanization. Now, basic economics, if it is over urbanization, that means there exists discrepancy between demand and supply. And the most important aspect when we come to any area is about living in that area. So overall, the cost of living increases because the real estate prices are skyrocketing. Basic rule, why the fee of offline is high is because the rents are very high. The prices of the property in which you are studying right now, iska jo rental hai per square feet is much, much higher. And that is why people were talking about that we need to shift, resettle, or shifting of the coaching industry to some place where there is more space which is available. ये जो पूरी रोड है इस पे अलग लेवल पे प्राइस चल रहे हैं. अगर यहां से कोचिंग इंडस्ट्री चली जाए तो इनके भी प्राइसेस गिर जाएंगे, बिकॉज इट इज ऑल अबाउट डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. Because of more demand and less supply, the prices of real estate has skyrocketed. Don't take it otherwise. मैं सिर्फ अपने ऑब्जर्वेशन पे बताती हूँ. फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम, ओके, आई अगेन से यू ऑल नो नाउ आई बिलोंग टू कानपुर, ठीक है. तो कानपुर वगैरह में क्या होता है कि बहुत भी अगर हो तो कभी उतने छोटे घर नहीं. मैंने पहली बार मुझे दिल्ली में आके पता चला ऐसे 50 गज का घर होता है. जैसे आप पीजी में जब रहने गए तो उन्होंने बोला अरे क्या पीजी है, ये वो. हमें भी लगा कि ठीक है. फिर नीचे से लेकर, क्योंकि वो मैं मुखर्जी नगर की बात बता रही हूँ, वो सारी ना बिल्डिंग्स एक जैसी सी दिखती थी, तो हमें लगा कि कितनी मतलब हमको नहीं पता था कि वो अलग अलग है, वो एक नहीं थी. तो जब अंदर घुसे तो वो बस एक पीछे से सिगरेट माचिस का डब्बा नहीं होता, एक साइड में ऐसे ऐसे सीधे जा रहे, एक कमरा ऐसे, एक कमरा ऐसे, एक कमरा ऐसे. हमने कहा ये कैसे, और वो बोले कि अरे ये देखिए कितना बढ़िया. मैंने कहा हाँ बढ़िया तो है. तो पहली बार, क्योंकि इट इज ऑल अबाउट डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, और पता है लोग हल्के में लेते, अरे इतना छोटा. जब उसका दाम सुनो कि मैंने कहा इतने में कानपुर में कोठी बन जाए जिसमें ये 50 गज का घर है. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डिमांड एंड सप्लाई स्काई रॉकेटिंग प्राइसेस ऑफ रियल एस्टेट. अब क्या होता है, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस योर कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग हैज बिकम वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. So as a result, people, they start moving towards the fringes of the city. And this process is known as suburbanization. But hold, suburbanization सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं होता that skyrocketing prices of real estate. There are two more reasons which actually leads to suburbanization. One is development of public transport. And second is changing nature of work. For example, work from home. So over urbanization often results into what is known as suburbanization. But there एक होता है ना precondition. तो suburbanization does not take place in vacuum. There has to be these three conditions which has to be met. Only then suburbanization will take place. या तो core of the city के prices इतने बढ़ जाएं that is beyond your reach. Second, because public transport has developed in a well manner, you know that if you live in the fringes, commuting to the core of the city will not be a challenge. And third, you know you don't have to be present in core of the city on a daily basis, because there is a new type of work culture which is emerging, which is known as work from home. Is this very clear? बस इतना बताओ, यहां तक लिखा है, ठीक? इसके बाद राइट डाउन. सब अर्बनाइजेशन ही कंटिन्यू करेंगे. It includes migration of people. It includes migration of people and businesses to the suburbs. To the suburbs. अरे सब अर्बनाइजेशन को छोटा कर दो, सब अrbs. Migration of people and businesses to suburbs. Next, it involves development of residential. It involves development of residential, commercial, and industrial areas. And industrial areas on the periphery, as it is more planned, and organized, as it is more planned and organized. Next, urban sprawl. Write a term, urban sprawl. See, often the two terms are used synonymously. So if in the exam it is used in the capacity that they are synonymously using the term, then you also use it synonymously. But then there is a difference. Suburbanization is more organized. It is more planned. Urban sprawl is unplanned. It is unorganized. It is defined as outward expansion of the cities on the fringes to the extent that it is engulfing the nearby rural areas. So that is urban sprawl. और इसको मैं basic एक story की तरह समझा देती हूँ. Usually what happens, let us suppose you are living in Delhi. ठीक है, Delhi में there was crammed houses and everything. You came from tier 2, tier 3 cities and everything. So there was an aspiration that although we have come to Delhi, but we want to live in big houses. Delhi में big house is not possible at all. ठीक है. So the point then you realize कि let's do one thing. और ये मैं आज की बात नहीं बता रही. Let's assume we are talking about some 20 years back, 15, 20 years back. So we decided, let's do one thing. Let's move to the area which is near Delhi, but it is not as expensive as Delhi. तो फिर हमको एक एरिया मिला जिसका नाम था गाजियाबाद. तो फिर हमने सोचा कि गाजियाबाद में जिस पैसे में दिल्ली में एक छोटा सा घर मिलता, गाजियाबाद में जमीन से अपना घर बन जाएगा. लोगों में होता है ना जमीन से घर. अपार्टमेंट्स में तो क्या होता है कि आपके पास फ्लोर है, तो उन्होंने कहा जमीन से अपना घर होगा. तो फिर व्हेन दे मूव टू गाजियाबाद, सो वन थिंग वाज देयर वाज अ एस्पिरेशन टू लिव इन बिग houses. So those people shifted to, let us say, Ghaziabad. So everybody was started telling, अरे तुम इतनी दूर चले गए, फिर दिल्ली आओगे जाओगे कैसे, दिक्कत हो. बोला अपना प्राइवेट गाड़ी है और जितना पैसा हम दिल्ली में लगाते अब उतना पैसा हमारा बच गया, वो एक गाड़ी ले लेंगे मस्त. और तब पेट्रोल इतना महंगा नहीं. So the point here is कि then they decided that you have a private vehicle. So slowly and gradually people started moving there. And there were two reasons for it. One, the aspiration or desire to live in big accommodation, and second, you have your own private conveyance. So the commuting was never a problem. But then it was a situation when one or two people were shifting. Slowly and gradually people started shifting, and then they started constructing their own houses as per their own whims and fancies. हमारे यहाँ concept of parking नहीं होता, हम नहीं बनाते क्योंकि रोड पे खड़ी करते. अब क्या हुआ कि जब तक 2 घर थे, 4 घर थे, 40 घर थे, तब तक ठीक था. अब इतने घर हैं कि सब अपनी दो दो गाड़ियां रोड पे पार्क करते हैं, तो फिर सुबह सुबह ढूंढा जाता है कि ये किसकी गाड़ी है, फिर वो एक गाड़ी हटती है तो फिर दूसरी गाड़ी बाहर निकलती है। आप इसमें पॉइंट समझो, नाउ द कंजेशन इज हैपनिंग, क्योंकि सबने अपने विम्स एंड फैंसीज पे बनाया, देयर इज नो प्रॉपर ड्रेनेज सिस्टम। एक बारिश होती है। So the point which we are trying to make here is urban sprawl is unplanned. It is unorganized. It happens because of the desire to live in big houses. But then it has resulted in problem of pollution, environmental degradation, lack of proper drainage system, then traffic congestion, and most importantly, in the initial years, community living was also negatively impacted because not many people were living in those areas. But if it is given in a synonymous manner, you can use the term synonymously, but there exists a difference. तो suburbanization का example है नोएडा, urban sprawl का example है गाजियाबाद. Is that very clear for everyone? Right. Urban sprawl. It is defined as uncontrolled and unplanned. It is defined as uncontrolled and unplanned outward extension of the city to the extent of engulfing the nearby rural areas, to the extent of engulfing nearby rural areas. Full stop. It is characterized by the desire, to live in big accommodation, and access to private transportation, However, it is confronted with the challenges of pollution, traffic congestion, environmental degradation, and decline in community living. Last, counter-urbanization. See, I'll give you a basic example of counter-urbanization. Let us say we were living in rural areas. We moved to urban areas. Why? Because we want to have better access to opportunity. We wanted to improve our status of life. अब हमने ठीक ठाक कमा लिया पैसा, ठीक है. फिर अब लगा कि quality of life in urban area is declining. Anyway, it says that if you live in Delhi, your life expectancy initially was 9.8 years less, now it is 11 years less. So the point here is कि अगर दिल्ली में रह के 11 साल निकलो, खत्म करो क्लास व्लास, तो the point here is कि 11 years life expectancy is less. So what we are trying to say is, due to inner city pollution, crowding, congestion, now people are going back to their rural areas. For example, mushrooming farmhouse culture. कि आसपास नियर विसिनिटी में पैसा तो है, तो लोगों ने क्या किया, जमीनें खरीद के बड़े बड़े फार्म्स बना लिए हैं कि अच्छे से फार्म हाउस में रहेंगे. जैसे यहाँ का AQI बढ़ा, थोड़े दिन वहां निकल लिए. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज दैट इज नथिंग बट काउंटर अर्बनाइजेशन. ठीक है, चलो राइट. It is defined as social and demographic, it is defined as social and demographic process, social and demographic process where people move from urban to rural areas, due to inner city deprivation, overcrowding, pollution, and overall decline in quality of life. Overall decline in quality of life. For example, farmhouse culture. Clear hai? So we will continue with the class day after tomorrow. Day after tomorrow we'll finish society. Okay? And tomorrow we have essay class. Okay?